it's not looking good. Full face of drugstore makeup. Let's see how it goes. Here, ooh. These are majority of what we were able to pick up for our full face of drugstore makeup. We're just gonna get into it. I'm gonna start off with the NYX face glue primer. I've never tried this. A lot of these products are gonna be new to me. I haven't done a full face of drugstore makeup in probably, if I'm being honest, conservatively, 10, 12 years. When I stopped working at Ulta, I didn't pay as much attention to a lot of drugstore releases anymore, because I didn't see them on the daily anymore. So I'm really excited to try a couple new things. I have some products from some of our heavy hitter brands, our NYX, our Juvia's Place, a couple items from L'Oreal. And then I was also able to pick up some items from like About Face. I got a couple things from Revolution. I got a couple things from Milani. So I'm really excited to see how everything works out. I know this primer is really tacky, and I know tacky primers are typically very hydrating, so I went with that since my skin is a little more dry. I did also go with a really hydrating foundation, so we're going to see how those play together, but this is the NYX Face Glue. We're going to be concealing with the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I have used this concealer before. I used a full tube of this before. I actually really like this concealer. I'm going to take this right along my jaw where I typically have a little bit of gray show through from my facial hair. Even on a fresh shave, I still have 5 o'clock shadow. I shaved not even 20 minutes ago and you can still see the darkness coming through. My skin is also super, super dry right now, so I have a lot of shaving irritation. So we're just going to need a little bit of additional coverage along this area so we don't have any of that peeking through. This is the About Face Performer Foundation in shade L1 Light Cool. I picked this up, I want to say a couple months ago, and I have not tried it yet. It's the Skin Focus Foundation. I got a pink tone because my neck is fairly pinky, and we'll see how it is going to match. I do like the applicator that it has, the doe foot. I do have a complaint with the oversized doe foot applicators though, is I feel like a lot of the times it leads to a lot of product waste because the product gets stuck in the top. Oh. We're gonna see how this color works. I'm gonna just take this on the applicator and just kind of put a little everywhere, and then we'll blend it out. I'm gonna blend it out with a brush first, and then I'll go with a sponge after, just to see how the initial application is. I don't know the coverage on this. Oh, I don't know about the color either. This is Light 1, Light Cool. Yeah, this is L1 Light Cool. Hopefully I'll match my neck and it just looks a little dark in comparison. We're gonna take my Morphe G36, my regular foundation brush, and we're just gonna start blending all over. All right, this is what it's looking like. One layer with a brush. I do like the finish. Definitely a little separated through the nose. I'm gonna apply a little more on the nose with a sponge and see if that helps. I feel like the shade match is okay when it comes to blending with my neck. I do think that for a cool, it's a little yellowy, but we'll be able to make it work. I'm gonna go ahead and just go in with a little bit more, and we're going to do a little on each cheek where my redness is poking through, a little through the center of the forehead, and then I'll do a little more on the sides of the nose. Then we'll go in and blend that out with our sponge. I'm going in with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, and we're gonna just be blending everything out and tapping it in. I'm going to take a little bit more of Milani Conceal and Perfect, and I'm going to use this on the sides of my nose here, going towards the eye. I'm also going to take a little bit of this around the corners of my nose where I tend to get a little pink. And then we'll do the corners of my mouth. And then a little through the center of the forehead. While we let that kind of start to set and build up some coverage, I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in white, and I'm going to use that right underneath the eye for a really bright highlight. I'm hoping this is going to work similarly to the Kimchi White Concealer because I really like how that one works when I use it under the eyes. If you have watched any of my content before, you know I like a really, really, really bright under eye, and I typically do that by using a really light concealer and a powder. But I wasn't able to get like a super brightening setting powder, so we are just going to be hopeful on the concealer. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Real Techniques sponge again, and I'm going to start by tapping out the forehead. I just like love a really bright center of the face. I know it looks a little crazy, but once it's all over and we're super bright, it'll look amazing. After we go in and brighten up, we will be doing our little bronzing around the edges of the face. I did get the About Face bronzer, so we'll be using that. And then I start under the eye in the corner, working my way down to the edge of my nose. So I kind of bring this here, and then I'll blend the inner part last. The reason why I put the white here and the skin tone here is because I like this little inner corner to be bright, but I don't want it to appear gray. And then when that concealer starts to blend with the white, it brightens up all the way underneath. See how bright that is now? This is the About Face Beach Freak Bronzer Stick in Beach Goth. It's the second lightest shade. Oh, it's a twist. It's like a fairly neutral bronzy color. I'm going to go ahead and go in with this just like towards the top of the cheek here, top of the cheek here. Then we're going to do a little in the corners of the forehead. Then I am going to take a little bit on the sides of the nose, I think. Oh, I kind of fucked that up. That's okay. I kind of fucked it up, but it's okay. We'll live. This is a MAC 188 brush. It's typically my go-to cream bronzing brush. So we're going to take that and just start to kind of buff that in around the edges. I don't go super heavy with this, but I do like to kind of sweep it across. So it's going to move some of that bronzer stick while it's still nice and creamy and emollient on the skin. I think I used too much, but that's okay. I definitely used too much on the forehead. That's all right. We will figure it out. I like the tone of that. It's a really pretty tone. I'm going to take whatever concealer and foundation is left on my sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and just brighten up through the center of the nose really quick. And then I am going to start to soften out the edges of that forehead highlight so we can kind of soften some of that bronzer in so it's not so intensive. Yeah, I like that. Before we start to set everything down with powder, this is the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter 2-in-1 powder. Now, I have not heard a single person talk about this. The top part is a pressed powder. The bottom is a loose translucent. I'm going to be using the translucent to set under the eyes. I'm really hoping that this is going to work out well. Like I said, no shade. I haven't heard a single person talk about this at all. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, load up my powder puff, and then I'll reblend my under eyes with my sponge before we set down. So before we go in and set down with our translucent powder, I'm just going to take my sponge one more time and soften out any creasing that might be. And while we just pressed out any of those creases on this one, I'm going to take a little bit of that powder and we're just going to start to set. Uh-oh. It's not looking so good. I fear as if this may be one of those HD like silica powders that don't look so great. Especially in the under eye. It looks good on camera. In person, it looks very, very textured. But we're already here, so let's finish out the rest of the face and see how it goes. I don't know if you can see just how bad that looks. It's not looking good. I'm gonna hope that we can bring this all back together. I did also get a powder foundation, so hopefully that will help us bring some smoothness back. The nose is completely unforgivable. The nose is fully separated. I made sure everything that I'm using is water-based, so that is definitely a little frustrating. This powder is truly unforgivable. Also, this packaging is a nightmare. Like, this is the loose packaging. The powder is all in the fucking twisting, locking mechanism. It's all over. I'm getting powder literally everywhere. Now that we've done kind of our base setting, we will be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Powder Foundation. So I'm going to use that as a one more time set and reinforce. We're going to go ahead and do eyes. I'm going to be using these two Morphe palettes. I'm just going to map out the shape of my like cat eye with a little bit of translucent powder. I'm going to go into the Morphe Sky-Fi palette. I'm going to take this like baby blue color and I'm going to start using that just to add a little bit of shaping to the eye. I'm going to just start in this outer corner and I'm going to start buffing that in like this little triangle shape. Following that like cat-eyed angle next to that powder. Symmetry is not my strongest suit. It is what it is. This palette has a ton of fallout in the pan. I don't know if you can see all of that there. So I'm trying to pick up some of the powder that's around the pan to use that. Now, if you're getting to this point and you feel like it's not the best blend or you want it to be a little lighter there, you can go in with a little bit of your face powder. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour in 10 Porcelain. I'm just going to pick that up on the same brush. And I'm going to take that powder and I'm just going to start to work over that inner part here so we get a little bit of a softer like denim-y blue, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to be going in with one of these like molten shades in the middle. You're supposed to be able to use these wet or dry. A flat packing brush. This is a Made by Mitchell brush. I'm going to get this brush wet and then pick up some of this pigment. In keeping with the all drugstore theme, I'm going in with the Milani Make It Last Original Spray. We're going to be spraying our brush, getting it damp. And then I'm going to be digging my brush in here and picking up some of this molten shade. Now that we have our pigment built up on our brush, we're going to just take it along the lid and see what it's giving us. It's giving a little shimmer. Let me try to build it up really quick. That shimmer is pretty. It's starting to build up a little more. I had to use a ton of spray to activate it, but we're going to do a little on the other side too. I'm taking a little bit more of that original like denim blue and I'm mixing in a little bit of this cooler brown just to get a little more definition in the corner. I like this like Maxine bluey vibe. And then I'm going in one last time with a little bit of that foundation powder and I'm just going to soften right up under the brow bone. Going in with the NYX Epic Ink Liner, we're going to line the eye. Keeping with the drugstore makeup theme, we are going in with the Kiss Lashes in the style Baby Doll. We're going to highlight with ColourPop Stole the Show Super Shock Highlighter. I take it on my finger and I'm going to hit the high point of the cheekbone here. I'm going to do the same thing above the arch of the brow. And then I also like to take a little detail brush with that same highlighter and I'm going to highlight the bridge of my nose. And then I'm going to take whatever's left over and I'm going to start to highlight my milk mustache. While my lashes are still drying, I'm going to go ahead and push the outer corners up just so it gives us more of that elongated cat shape up top. I'm going to be using the NYX Buttermelt Highlighter in You Butta Work. I like this like pinky shift. It's really pretty. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to go through the higher points of that cheekbone just for that little bit of pinky warmth. This is the Blushed Volume 4 by Juvia's Place. I'm going to take this lighter blue tone pinky and use that as our blush today. I'm going to go in with this Morphe Jaclyn Hill blush brush and I'm going to pick this up and I'm just going to take it right along the upper part of the cheek here. I'm not going to do a ton of blush today because I am going a little more bold on the eye. I know I normally don't care much about balancing the eye and the cheek, but with how blue the eye is, I don't want to do a crazy pink cheek and look clowny. This is the NYX Lip Pencil in Urban Cafe. We're going to take this and line our lips. And going in with the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Pasadena Creme. I thought this was going to be a little more opaque. Okay, we're going to retry the lip. This is the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Starling. See if we can soften out the lip liner a little. Setting spray time, I'm using the Milani Make It Last and the L'Oreal Infallible Waterproof Spray. Going in with the Milani Make It Last Original Spray first. We're going to use this to rehydrate. While that's still damp, we're going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible Waterproof Spray. That spray is strong. All right, this is the final makeup look featuring all drugstore makeup, drugstore start to finish. What do we think? I'm going to do a super quick rundown on each product on if I will keep it or if I will be returning it. I have to do super fast because I'm running out of storage on my phone. I'll be keeping both Morphe palettes. I do like these shade ranges. I've done a look with this one before. I've done semi-look with this one before. I do like how these wore. These are really pretty. I'll be keeping these. I've had these lashes in my lash storage for a minute. I'll be keeping these. They're just like a cute little kind of wispy, fluttery lash. NYX Epic Ink Liquid was not good. I had to go over with another liner off camera, so I will be returning this. The About Face foundation, I do like the finish of the About Face bronzer stick. I do also like the finish of the foundation. I feel like is an okay match. My neck's getting really red because it's super warm in here. So I will be keeping this. I'm unsure on the bronzing stick. I do have other bronzers that I'm currently using, so I'm unsure on this one. NYX Face Glue, I feel like is another sticky primer. Nothing super special. I don't feel like it did a whole lot. It did make some of my makeup separate around my nose. I don't know if it was the combination of this and the foundation and the concealer, but I don't think I'll be holding on to this one. Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Powder, I will be returning. This packaging is super impractical. I also did not like it. My under eyes are also a lot more creased in the inner portion of my eyes than normal, so this will not be staying. Juvia's Place blush. This is one that I've had in my collection for a while. I'll be holding on to this. I don't talk much about Juvia's Place for specific reasons, but that's another video for another day. The LA Girl Pro Concealer in white. I do have the Kimchi one that I use on the regular basis that I like a little bit more, so this one will not be staying. The Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I do like this one. I have used a full one before. This will be entering my rotation once again. L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. I do have a couple MAC backups still, so I don't think this one will be staying around much longer. NYX Buttermelt Highlighter. This is a really pretty one that I've worn before. I do like how this wears on the cheeks. I'll be holding on to this. This ColourPop highlighter is part of my everyday rotation. I've been using the ColourPop highlighters for years, so this will be staying in the rotation. Milani Make It Last and L'Oreal Infallible 3-Second Setting Mist. These are very similar dupes to sprays that I already use, so I don't think these ones will be staying around, and if they do, they'll be in a touch-up kit in the car or something. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.